safety and comfort, knowing that the moon will change in its own way that we have grown up knowing. You know, we everybody knows the moon. The moon is very familiar to us, and that's why I call it the gateway planet, because it is such a wonderful introduction into the rest of the planet. So the moon is, in astrology, it's associated with the feminine, with the divine maternal feminine, the mother, you know, and the moon is named, in Spanish, it's Luna, but the moon is associated with Artemis, the goddess of the moon, and the wild huntress. And so Artemis is the part of all of us that is more tuned into the animal realm, to the nighttime realm. She comes out at night to hunt with her, you know, with her pack of dogs, of wild dogs. And so the moon is a part of us that's wild, that's untamed, that, you know, emotions don't follow logic. They do what they want. And so wherever the moon is in your chart, the sign and house it's in is going to show you how to access that part of yourself. So here's some qualities that the moon evokes. Your natal moon, and when I say your natal moon, what I mean, I think most of you probably have got this by now, but just to clarify for sure, is that the natal moon is the moon in your personal birth chart. The transiting moon is where the moon is at right now in the sky. So we're going to do a little exercise before we end here, where I'm going to show you how to use an app that will tell you exactly where the moon is every day. But until we get to that, today the moon is in Cancer. And I did not pick this class to happen on the moon in Cancer, but again, another beautiful astrological synchronicity. The moon is ruled by the sign of Cancer. She's at home in Cancer. Cancer is her sign. So today we are having this class on the moon, and the day that it is her sign is ruled. Her day of the week, however, is Monday, Moon Day. But because the moon is in Cancer today, it's also a very moony, lunar type day. So your natal moon, the moon in your personal birth chart, tells about your own unique emotional weather, kind of how you tend to roll, so to speak, on most days. So, you know, somebody with their moon in Scorpio conjunct Saturn might have more of a depressive kind of mood. They'd be very intense and have very powerful emotions, and maybe really know a lot and be really grounded in their emotions, but they also might tend to have a sense of depressive feelings about them. So somebody with moon in Sagittarius, on the other hand, may have more of a buoyant mood and handle their feelings by having little adventures or learning something new. So wherever your moon is going to give you a sense of your general mood. It also, the moon, she, not it, shows how you yourself were mothered or nurtured or cared for, whether it be by your biological mother, adoptive mother, or grandmother, whoever it was who raised you. The nurturing that you received is shown by the sign and the house your moon is in. And what's so interesting about the charts and the moon is that you may have siblings and their moon is in a very different sign. And what that is going to give you information about is that it's the emotional experiences your mother was having at the time you were born and you were a young child. So we can have one sibling with moon in Capricorn, and then a couple of years later, you know, the mother had a completely different life experience, and boom, the moon is in Aries. So it's your personal experience of your mother's nurturing. It also shows how you typically mother and nurture and care for others. So your style of mothering is found in the sign and house of your moon.
Can I just ask a quick question about that? About I'm super curious about that, the siblings and piece, because my children both have the moon in Scorpio. They're 4 apart. One is a Libra, the other is a Scorpio, and they both have moon in Scorpio.
That's interesting. Yeah, and you will find that too, right? There's all different variations, but with the fact that they both have their moon in Scorpio and they were born, you said 4 years apart. Yeah. So that would mean that you were in a particular phase of life for a chunk of time and they both experienced your nurturing and your mothering in a simultaneously. I mean, not simultaneously, but in a very similar way. So yeah, that's super interesting. Okay.
Thanks.
So the moon is also going to give you information about your first instinct, and I didn't type that right, but your first instinctual reaction when something happened that would cause an emotion in a human being. So, birth, death, scary things, wonderful things, anything that's going to give an emotion, your first instinctual reaction to that is going to be described by your moon sign. So an example of that might be